A scope of work is sometimes called a statement of work. It is a portion of the contract documents that describes the work to be performed on a construction project. A well-written scope of work sets the expectations for both parties, including the responsibilities, milestones, and technical details required to complete the job. Corecon provides two primary types of scope of work in a variety of record types. One of those record types is a subcontract. Within the subcontract header, there is a scope of work, which is a detailed description of the work to be performed, specific to that particular project, and in this case, to the particular subcontract. This type of scope can change extremely between different projects and different subcontracts. There's also another section to the scope of work that combines the inclusions, exclusions, and clarifications. These are a more general form of scope of work and can be used across many projects and contracts. This type of scope of work is something that you would insert into most contracts and subcontracts. In Corecon, a scope is essentially a boilerplate text that can be inserted into an RFP package, an estimate cost code, an estimate overall scope of work, into a prime contract or a subcontract. For example, templates could be defined for each segment of work, such as foundations, framing, drywall, and electric, which can include text for inclusions, exclusions, and clarifications. Having these templates set up in advance and ready to import will save time, improve consistency when communicating requirements, and will ultimately reduce risk. In this training video, we're going to show how to create and save these generic or general scopes of work so that they're readily available when you need them. These scopes of work can be edited once they're in a subcontract or a prime contract or an RFP and other places. But generally, we want to include the scope that would encompass almost all related agreements or requirements. To do this, let's go to the global settings, to templates and reports, and to scope templates. Scope templates can be set up by trade or craft or even product. They can also be the scope of work between your company and your customer, client, or project owner, or they can be the scope of work between you and your vendors, suppliers, and subcontractors. I've already set up a few scopes of work: concrete, roof trusses, doors and hardware, and so on. In this training video, we're going to set up a scope of work for framing and drywall. A scope of work can be copy and pasted from a Word document or a WordPad document, or they could be entered manually. So let's go up to the Add button, and we're going to give it a scope number. If you're copying from a Word document or other formatted document, when you copy, before you paste into this area, there is an option to paste. It reminds you to hit the Control V. This usually will strip out most of the hidden formatting hidden in that Word document. At times, to strip out that formatting, it's helpful to paste it first into a WordPad or similar simple unformatted CSV file, and then copy again back into the Corecon scope template. This will strip out any hidden formatting so that it will print correctly when printed on a contract or subcontract. So in this case, I'm going to just copy out of a Microsoft WordPad something that I've already wrote. If you want to make sure these wrap correctly, you take out the spaces at the end of the sentences. So those are the inclusions. Hitting Control V. I can also use basic word processing features built into Corecon. I'm going to add bullet points there. Using Control V, I'm pasting in the clarifications. Again, taking out the extra spaces so that these wrap properly when they print onto a Corecon detail template. You could also manually enter information. And then click Save. And now we have the framing and drywall subcontract scope of work. Inserting scope of work, namely the inclusions, exclusions, and clarifications, is covered in each of the record type training videos. If you'd like to know more about this subject, we encourage you to go to the knowledge base, to settings, to templates and reports, and to scope templates. This article will be a review of the information covered in this training video.